What's up, everybody? Tardy Sloth here with another video. Might not be what you're normally used to seeing. It's a bit of an unboxing video. My family and my wife and I, decided that we were going to treat ourselves and our children this year, and we went and got ourselves something very special for us and for the kids. Walt Disney World annual passes. Now, we already live in Florida, so we're Florida residents. We're in Jacksonville, which is only about 2.5 hours away. Not that bad. It's about a tank of gas there and back. And we opted for the weekday select pass, which basically lets you go Monday through Friday, no weekends, no Saturday, Sunday, and you also get no summertime, so no July. I think June and July are completely blacked out, as well as like half of the month of December. Um, but that wasn't a huge turnoff for us. We homeschool our children, so um, there's no worry about having to wait till the kids get out of school and then going to Disney when it's like the busiest time of the year. We can go pretty much whenever we want, whenever we can afford to spend the gas to get down there and back. So um, the weekday select passes are about 200. I don't want to say exactly. I think they're about $268, $286 per person. That includes the kids. They're the same price for some reason. I'm not sure why. The baby is only 16 months or 18 months, and he doesn't have to pay. He just gets into everything free because he's a baby. Um, but our 9-year-old and our 5-year-old were considered child, and they didn't have any price difference there for whatever reason with the annual passes, especially the weekday select passes. So our 10-year-old, obviously she counted as an adult, but still, like I said, they're all the same. As of right now, as of filming this video, they're all the same price no matter what you do. So we decided to go ahead and get them. Cost about $1,600 with taxes for all 5 annual passes, weekday select passes for Florida residents. That's not bad. For Disney, that's not bad. That's one 2-day trip for most people. Even people that live in the state of Florida, that's one 2-day trip. That's it. You're going to spend that much alone with $22 for parking, which is included with the annual pass. All the food that you would normally get, souvenirs and things like that. And since we live in Florida and we live not that far away, it's not that difficult to bring a small cooler bag with an ice pack in it and bring lunch meat or peanut butter and jelly and some bread or some like bananas and fruit cups and applesauce and things like that. And that's exactly what we did. Um, we had a little cooler. It was probably, I don't know, 1.5 feet long by like 8 inches wide by like 8 inches deep. It wasn't. It was like a normal like zip up lunch pail, soft fabric cooler. Stuck an ice pack in the bottom. A couple bottles of water, peanut butter, some Nutella. I think loaf of bread was in a grocery bag, and all this stuff we just put into the stroller. Um, Now we did have to go through bag check and security check and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't that bad. They do a really, really good job of getting people through there really quickly. Um, and at at one time when we went, we just went. We'll go over this in just a second. When we just went, when we went through the bag check and security check, at that point they had 2 to sometimes no, actually at one point they had 3 people checking our stuff just to get us through quicker because they realized, okay, they've got 5 kids, or they've got 5 kids, 4 kids with them, and there's all these bags underneath the stroller, and they got to check everything and make sure everything's cool, and then they got to check all our jackets and my wife's purse and her camera bag and the backpack that we took with us that had diapers and wipes and things like that in it. Um, so it's relatively painless process. I did have to get wanded, arms out, put the metal detector wand all over you. Um, both times that we went, both days that we went, I actually had to do that, and it was both days it was because of my belt buckle, which was it was metal. And the second day we went, because I knew it was gonna happen, it was the only belt I had with me at the time. So the second day we went, I like started to take my belt off, and the guy was like, "Whoa, whoa, don't do that." So come on through, and he wanted me, and he's like, "It's just your belt buckle." I said, "Yeah," and he's like, "Okay, you're good." So I didn't have to do much anything there. So it was pretty funny that they do stuff like that. But so it was not bad. And something that I will mention that I've researched annual passes and benefits for annual passes and benefits for Florida residents with annual passes and things like that over and over and over and over and over. I mean, I beat it to death um, because I really really want to do all my research and I overanalyze everything. So I've researched everything I could possibly think of, and this is one thing that I never saw anyone mention ever in any of these videos, and maybe I just wasn't watching the right one. I don't know. But I looked at probably dozens and upon dozens of videos about annual passes. No one mentioned the fact that if you live in Florida, if you're a Florida resident, and you purchase annual passes. Um, Everyone talks about the Magic Bands getting sent to their house, and they get them linked with their annual passes, and they get to go and all this other stuff. If you're a Florida resident, they do not mail them to you right away. You have to go to will call when you get to the park to pick up your annual passes, where they will activate them for you there, at which point you'll just use the card, the annual pass holder card, for all your fast passes and park entries and things like that. That's something I didn't know at the time. So they'll give you one of these. Um, see if it'll focus on it. They'll give you the annual pass holder card that's got your unique number on the back and everything like that, and you use that for all your fast passes and if you have the dining plan attached to it and things like that. Use it to pay for your meals. Use it to pay for your purchases of merchandise if you have your credit card attached to it, which I didn't for a good reason. I didn't want to go crazy. But yeah, so it wasn't difficult. I thought I was really disappointed in that. I found that out as soon as I purchased the annual passes. There was not an option for delivery of the Magic Bands. It just said will call. That was it. So I actually called up there, and if you ever have questions about what you want to, you have a question about something specific to any question regarding Disney World or annual passes or tickets in general, their customer service is fantastic. They're always helpful. They never push you off the phone. They always will help you with whatever question you have. I talked to this guy for half an hour just about the certain things that come with and what I have to do and where I have to go for will call, and it made it so painless when we got there that I had no doubt in my mind. I knew exactly where I needed to go and exactly what I needed to do in order to get this vacation train rolling, so to speak. Um, but we had a decent experience. The kids loved it. Um, I think they have to get accustomed to the way that things work over there because they got a couple. My kids have some. They're not normal, not all of them. They're not completely normal. They have their issues like every other kid, ADHD and the like, and things like that. So sitting in line and for a ride or something like that for longer than like 15, 20 minutes can become a problem and become, I don't want to say a problem really per se as it is just it's a lesson in patience, I guess you could say. Um, but the thing that shocked me about it is they had a blast. They acted out a little bit, a lot. They acted out a lot. But it's one of those things. It's a new experience. It's something completely new to them, and I can't expect them to be perfect the first time because they're in this magical, exciting place where everything is attached to all the movies that they love and things like that. So it's a little overwhelming, and I can see how it can get can make the brain wander and kind of go cuckoo for a little bit. But they did relatively well considering. We went the first night. I got off of work at 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Slept for about 2 hours. We got ready to go, and we left the house. And we got down to Orlando at about, oh God, 5:30 p.m. something like that. It took us forever to get ready to go. So about 5:30 p.m. we got down to Orlando. We checked into our hotel, which we stayed at the Baymont Hotel in Orlando. I want to say it was on Universal Boulevard or Universal Drive. I don't know if it's Boulevard or Drive. It's literally right down the road from Universal Studios, and it's got, you can see the big giant Ferris wheel from the hotel. It cost $98 a night. I think it was like 111 with taxes, which is not bad at all for a hotel that's within 15 minutes drive of Disney. So we stayed there overnight Wednesday, and we checked in the hotel. We went straight to Magic Kingdom at night. Drove up to the parking attendant, and I knew from speaking to the Disney cast member on the phone that the first time you go to pay for parking, you're gonna have to pay for parking because you won't have your annual passes yet. But when you go to activate them, they will reimburse you for the parking that you pay in whatever form of payment that you used initially. And I said, okay, no problem, we can do that. So I had the $22 for parking all ready to go, and we pulled up to the gate, and the lady goes, picking up annual passes? Before I could say a word. And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? She's like, who else comes to the park at 6 o'clock at night and pays full price? I said, good point. She goes, go on and have a good day. I was like, okay. No, that was pretty cool. So we went and got our annual passes done. By the time that rolled around and we got on the monorail and got to the Magic Kingdom, it was probably around 7:30ish. We got on Main Street USA, and we literally turned left at the roundabout. We turned left right at there at Casey's Corner, and they announced the fireworks show was starting. And that place was slammed. I mean, the main hub of Magic Kingdom was completely just slammed. So we went around, and by the time we realized, we said, we're not going to watch the fireworks. We'll watch them the next night. We'll watch them tomorrow. We're going to be here all day tomorrow. We'll watch them then. We won't want to worry about the fireworks now because we're not going to get a good spot, and it starts in like 10 minutes. So we went around around the side up to Frontierland. Noticed that there was only a 10-minute wait on the Haunted Mansion, and we said, "Oh, this is perfect. This is going to let us gauge how our children are going to act to these rides because obviously they're not going to go on Splash Mountain, they're not going to go on Space Mountain, things like that. Splash Mountain, maybe. We didn't actually end up doing that at all. The wait was always too long, and I could never get a fast pass for it for all of us. So as the Haunted Mansion is kind of a slow ride, kind of a creepy ride. There's no drops, nothing like that. There's that one part where it turns around and bottoms out on you backwards. Leads you all the way back, and it's kind of messes with your lower back a little bit. So it's a little bit creepy, I guess. The way it happens, kind of a little bit fast and jarring, but they absolutely loved it. Loved it. The 5-year-old loved it. The 18-month-old was not scared. I think one part kind of freaked him out a little bit, and that was the part when you're going to the graveyard and the skeleton head goes, pow, and it just pops up at you. It scared him a little bit, but he loved it. It was great. We rode Haunted Mansion, and we got done with it, and the fireworks were over, and we were going to go on the carousel, but apparently it was like after hours magic or something like that. Magic after hours, which was something you had to pay extra for, so we couldn't ride any rides, so we just decided to go ahead and go to the hotel, get a good night's rest, come back rested in the morning. So we did that. We were going to get up and rope drop Magic Kingdom again the next morning. We didn't get up quite early enough. Went to check out of our hotel, eat breakfast at the hotel. It offered complimentary breakfast, which was not terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't it was what you expect: muffins and pastries and waffles and pancakes and eggs and Actually, they had quite a lot of stuff: cereal and coffee and toast and bagels, and it was all like it was all decent. It wasn't like it wasn't grade A top shelf kind of breakfast, but it was free. So I would expect it was a little bit like a little bit better than like a McDonald's, I guess you could say, but not quite as good as like a Denny's or something like that. Anyway, that's not the point. Free breakfast. By the time we got out there, we parked further back. So the first night we parked on the villain side of Magic Kingdom, and we were in Captain Hook 220. This time we parked in Peter Pan on the hero side, and we were in 220 as well, which was kind of funny. We were on the same row, but on a different side both times. And since we had a big giant double stroller, we couldn't use the tram, so we had to walk all the way to the front, which kind of sucked. I've got a bad knee. Walking a lot really irritates it, and so that was fun. Uh, but it's Disney, so you deal with it. You work with the pain, and you pop a couple ibuprofen, and you get to go. So we went up, got on the monorail again, got in we probably got into Magic Kingdom maybe like 10:30, 11 a.m., something like that. Nothing too crazy. Not super early. It wasn't as busy as it was the night before. I think in Main Street USA in the main hub is just because the fireworks weren't going, so the rest of the park the crowd was a little bit more spread out. But at that point, so we stopped in a Starbucks. I've never had Starbucks in my life. Like I've had a frappuccino from the store a couple of times. I've never had a hot Starbucks drink or gone to a Starbucks cafe in my life. But I desperately needed coffee, as did the wife. So I went into Starbucks. I spent half an hour in Starbucks to get two drinks, and I actually kind of liked it. Kind of surprised me and made me mad at the same time because I couldn't gather I couldn't fathom the fact that I actually liked a Starbucks drink because I'm so anti Starbucks everything. So, but it was the only thing available, so we got that. We got the Starbucks drink and we got get going from the very get go. The kids were complaining, "I want to go see Haunted Mansion. I want to go on Haunted Mansion because it's the only ride that they know. They've never been before." The older two are 10 and 9 now. When they were 2 and 1, we went to Epcot. Actually, the youngest was under 1, so they were like 1.5 and like 8 months old when we went to Epcot. So they don't remember for one, and it wasn't Magic Kingdom for two. It was Epcot. So they don't remember any of that stuff. So this was literally their first time ever in Walt Disney World that they would actually remember. So the only thing they knew was Haunted Mansion, and that was awesome, and they loved it. So that was one of the issues we had, uh, and why I kind of like regret going just for the few hours the night before, and that was mainly for me and the wife. Is we just wanted to go. We just wanted to get there. Like I didn't even care if we were only there for a few hours. We wanted to get there because we were so close. Um, so yeah, so they were complaining about Haunted Mansion all day long. Now I had fast passes already set up before we even left the house. Uh, the 3 days prior, I had fast passes set up for Little Mermaid, Under the Sea Adventure, um, and Jungle Cruise, which was a necessity because I knew the kids would love that. And it's slow enough for everybody to go on. And that was the whole gist of this trip. That was the point of this trip. This is a family trip. This is for the kids. Yes, I love Disney to death. Yes, I would go by myself. No questions asked, and I'd have a blast. But this trip was for the kids. So I was not consumed with I gotta ride Space Mountain, I gotta ride Splash Mountain, I gotta ride Pirates of the Caribbean, which was closed and made me really mad because I would have done it. It was like, what would the kids enjoy seeing? What would make their trip magical? Because that's what it's all about, most of the time. So we did Ariel, Little Mermaid ride, which was I'd never been on because the last time I've been to Magic Kingdom was about a decade ago. And it's a relatively newer ride, newer than that anyway. I liked it. I'm 36-year-old man. I've seen Little Mermaid a bajillion times. and I know the story, but that ride was amazing. It was really, really well done. It was just good. There was nothing wrong. I couldn't say anything wrong about it. um, it was that wasn't even too short. I was gonna say it's too short, but it's not really too short. It's a good almost 4 minute ride if you count the queue, which isn't really interactive, but there's some talking and stuff over the loudspeaker. If you count the queue, it's like close to 5 minutes just from walking in the queue because we had the fast passes, so there was no wait. Um, so when we got out of that, we had fast passes for Jungle Cruise in a couple of hours. And the plan was to go do Haunted Mansion in between the two because it's literally right down the road, so to speak, from Little Mermaid, or relatively close to Haunted Mansion. It wasn't that bad. But every time I opened up the app and looked, it was like an hour-long wait or 50-minute wait, and I knew that I was not going to be able to wait in line with the kids for that long. They just weren't gonna, you know what I mean? They weren't gonna behave long enough, and it was really gonna get on my nerves. So we started to do other things, like we did Tiki Room, Enchanted Tiki Room, which I think they liked a lot. My oldest son, he's 9. He didn't really care for it too much. He'd heard the song 1,000 times because Dad plays his music all the time. Sorry, but the main song, the Tiki Room song, they've heard that 1,000 times. But there's 3 or 4 other songs in that show that I haven't heard in like I said, almost a decade, and they've never heard. So he was kind of like looking around and just kind of looking down, not paying attention during the main part of the show because he knew it by heart more than likely. And as soon as the girl birds come down from the middle and start singing, his head kind of popped up and he was really watching. He really liked the Tiki Gods singing in the background and things like that. So that was a good one for kids. I think they'll really enjoy it. And then we did, oh God, what else did we do? We did finally do Haunted Mansion. Um, it got to a point where the battery on our camera died, and we had to go to, if you it's a little tip because the maps don't show you where any of the charging stations are, and I honestly only know where one is at this point because it's one of the ones that we found. If you go in, oh God, is it? It's in Frontierland, okay, across from Rapunzel's tower, where the Rapunzel's tower bathrooms are with the floating lanterns. There's a bathroom right there, and across from that is a little area that has these little tree stumps and these little benches and stuff where you can sit down and you can charge your devices. And there's wall sockets in each stump, and there's also USB sockets in each stump, so you can charge your phone. But be warned that although there are 4 USBs in each stump, and I think there's like 6 tree stumps and 2 power outlets at each stump, not all of them work, okay? And most of the USB ones are just destroyed from people just jamming their phones in, constantly. So they won't work either majority of the time. So if you have the idea that you're gonna bring just your phone charger cable, USB, and plug it in and charge it, don't. Bring your brick. Bring your brick because you're gonna need it. Not to mention it charges faster and you won't have to sit there forever. So yeah, that one's right across from the Rapunzel bathrooms. On the opposite side of that is Peter Pan's Flight and Memento Mori, the Haunted Mansion gift shop. So it's right around the corner from Haunted Mansion. So we did that. We sat there for about an hour or so, charged the battery up, went on Haunted Mansion again. By that time, it was only a 40-minute wait. And I said, screw it. It's not going to get any lower. Let's go now. Let's get it done. It's a little interactive, so the kids might not be so bad. It might not be so bad when they can go through the line and touch the musical instruments and have it play songs and things like that, and push the books in. That one part of the queue where you can push the books in and they pop back out and things like that. So we did that, and it really wasn't 40 minutes. It was more like 15 tops. So we did Haunted Mansion again. They were happy. They loved it. It was like the coup d'etat for them. It was like the final. Yes, we did that. And then our last fast pass of the day, that I set for 7:20 p.m. was Enchanted Tales with Belle. At 7:20 p.m., the show's only about 15 minutes, maybe if that. Um, Even with the meet and greet with Belle at the end, and we figured we got enough time to get to a good spot to watch the fireworks. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be on Main Street like everyone else wants to be. We've seen it before, not really in person. I've seen videos of Happily Ever After a lot and things like that, but we just wanted to get to a good spot where we can see it, and then try to beat the crowd out, or kind of just hang back and wait for the crowd to dwindle down a little bit and then leave, so it's not so crowded. With a double stroller, you can imagine it was difficult to navigate through Magic Kingdom with that. So we went to Enchanted Tales with Belle. We get through the Fast Pass line. It's going to be a few minutes, probably 10 to 15 minutes, because this show has to have at least 20 people before it'll start. It's okay, no problem. How hard could it be? It's one of those. Enchanted Tales with Belle is one of those where if you get a Fast Pass, uh, I wouldn't say you're lucky, but you hang on to it because the chances are those things fill up fast. It's not like Mine Train Fast where it fills up weeks in advance. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but it fills up pretty quickly. So uh, I snagged the 720 Fast Pass for that a couple of days prior because that was literally the only time they had left for that day. So I wasn't going to give it up. And at one point, we actually thought about giving it up just to get a Fast Pass for Haunted Mansion if we could. But Haunted Mansion wasn't available at all for the rest of the day. So we had to do the Enchanted Tales with Belle. And the kids absolutely loved it. Even my oldest son, who is 9 years old, who could care less about Beauty and the Beast. Like, he likes it, okay. But he's not, like, my daughter loves Belle and Beauty and the Beast story and everything like that. So she had a blast. They got to act out the story of how Belle and Beast fell in love, and you got to see Maurice's workshop, and that freaking magic mirror that expands into a door. I don't know how they do it, and frankly, I don't want to know because it was baller. That the way they did that, it was just awesome. I mean, insane. You go right through it and into the Belle's castle, apparently, or the Beast castle, and then you get to act out the story, and the kids get to play a part. So, like, my oldest son played Maurice. He was in the jail cell, and he was holding up this plastic, looked like jail cell bars, and he was supposed to be shivering from the cold. So when they said his line, or announced said something about Maurice, he was supposed to shiver like he was cold in the jail cell. And my oldest daughter played Mrs. Potts, and that was pretty much it. It was all the kids got to play a role. Some of the parents got to play a role and act out the story with Belle, or the cast member who plays Belle at this current moment. Um, and then at the end of the story, they got to all have pictures taken with Belle. On your way out, they gave you a card. I don't know if I still have it. I think it's in the house, but they give you a card that has all of the photos from the show, including before, not just the meet and greet photos, but some of the stuff before, during the show where the kids are acting out what they're supposed to do and things like that. They've got pictures taken because they've got a photo pass photographer in the room at the time of the show, so he's taking pictures constantly. And you get a little card that has a code on it, a website, a code on, or something like that. You put in the code and you can see all your pictures, and you can order prints of the Belle meet and greet pictures. Now, because our children are so small, and they all got to meet her, by the way. It wasn't just the people in the show. Everyone got to meet her that wanted to, at least all the children. I'm not going to get any of the pictures because, one, my wife was back there taking photos as well with our camera, so we have good pictures of it that are kind of like off to the side a little bit. They're not looking straight at her, but they're good photos. And two, excuse me, oh, I'm so tired. My son is a little bit shy when it comes to other people, so meeting the characters we knew was going to be a slight issue, not really issue, but just like a hesitation on his part. So he didn't, he like most of like the girls, they give her a hug and they take a picture. The guys, they hold their arm, and she puts their arm in there, things like that. But he just kind of stood there, which is fine. I don't, it doesn't matter. It's still a good picture. He didn't smile or anything like that, so uh, that was funny. And the youngest, the baby, tried to kiss her, so that was hilarious. That's just a little ladies' man right there, a little heartbreaker. He's 18 months old, and he went up to her at first. He was a little tedious. He pulled back, so I kind of gave him like a little bit of a push, and she grabbed his hand, and he I swear it looked like he was gonna try to kiss her right on the lips. It was hilarious, but they had a really really good time, and we're gonna go as frequently as we can afford to. Like I said, it is literally just a tank of gas. Of course, it's wear and tear on your vehicle and things like that. It's 257 miles or something, some odd 250 something miles to get there. Uh, but excuse me. Or there and back, I mean. But it's worth it, and you're definitely gonna get your money's worth if you go more than like 2 or 3 times a year. So that's why one of the reasons why we did it. So we got home Thursday evening around, well, Friday morning technically around 1 a.m. And I was at work yesterday, Saturday. Today is Sunday. I was at work yesterday, Saturday, and my wife texted me, said our magic bands came in, and I was like, really? So already within 5 days they were here at the house. Now they come from Davenport, Florida, in the Experience Connection Center. So I can imagine it doesn't take very long to get from Davenport. But we're gonna open these up, and I'm gonna show you how they look, how they come. So this is the box, Magic Band. I think they changed it. It used to be like a slide out box. Now it's just kind of like you rip the tab and open it up. So these are our 5 Magic Bands. Let's see if it's gonna focus or not. It's trying to. Anyway, so it's a little bit fuzzy. I'm sorry, but you got your Magic Bands here. They have the names of each person. I'm gonna move this over. My daughter's is over that way. But they have the names of each person right next to it, because after you activate your magic or your annual passes, you get the option to choose the color that you want and the name of the person it belongs to. So yeah, see, their names are right here next to their magic bands. So we've got the magic bands here. On this side, we've got pass holder information, which is just a little tiny booklet that says, "Here's your magic bands. Pull it out for more information, uh, and how to use your magic band and all this other." It's stuff I already knew anyway, but we'll keep it just because. And on the other side here, you've got your magic band sliders for annual pass holders. Congrats on your new magic band. Here's your sliders, and this is what they look like. Let me take one out. I'm going to put it on mine, I think. If I can get it out of this stupid package. Here's what it looks like. I don't know if it's going to focus. Focusing on that. Anyway, there's what it looks like right there. It's just an orange little slider that says magic. It says pass holder, and you would slide it onto. I'll show you. Just slide it on the magic band, like so. If I can do it. I'm so bad at this. There we go. Slide it on the magic band like that. So when it's on your wrist, they'll know that you're a pass holder, I guess, if you want them to know. So this one is mine. I got the green, my favorite color. And on the back, I'm going to show you my code, but they engrave your name. Can you see that? It's not focusing properly. I got to do something about this. There it goes. You'll see your names are engraved on the back of the magic band. Everyone's is like that. The kids are like that too. I put the kids' names in caps, all caps, so it's easier to read for them. Um, but yeah, the kids can also, if they have little hands, like Remy has a little teeny hand because he's only 5 years old. Uh, this, oh, this is Colts. Remy's is the orange one. Anyway, this separates right here, and this bigger piece comes off completely around, and all you're left with is just this blue piece, which makes it a lot smaller. Let me see if I can do it without ripping it off, because I haven't gauged his wrist yet, so I don't know how big it really is. So it makes it smaller for a little kid's wrist, and it just fits them a lot better. And I think that was pretty cool that they're able to do that. But the only thing I think the difference is, the only thing I think you can't do is put it back. I think once you take it off, it's just off. There's no snapping it back in or anything like that. It's just off. So if they outgrow it and need a bigger one or a standard size one, you're gonna have to buy another one. But I mean, with him, it would take a couple of years at least before he gets to that point. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that comes in the box. Everything. Now I thought for sure that I was gonna get that magnet that you see on everybody's car, the pass holder magnet that looks just like this, but it's a magnet. But that didn't come in here, and I did a little bit of reading on the forums and things like that. Some of the forums, and a lot of people said they either never got them, or they got them with the first quarterly newsletter. So the quarterly newsletters come out for annual pass holders. They just had one come out for the holidays in December, so there should be another one coming out really, really soon. The other option we have is to get one is you can buy them on eBay, but why buy them if you just have to have it? You can buy it on eBay for like $5 to $10 for a pass holder magnet to stick on your car if you really need it. But the other option right now is this Flower and Garden Festival is going on at Epcot, and for annual pass holders, if you go to, I think it's the Welcome Center behind Club Cool, you know, the one place where you get the Beverly drink, you can pick up a limited edition annual pass holder a magnet that features Mickey, either Mickey with a butterfly on his nose, and that goes through I think April 8th, and then from April 8th to the end of April, when Flower and Garden Festival is over, that you can get a mini one, a Minnie Mouse one, which is the first time they've ever offered a special limited edition Minnie Mouse pass holder magnet. They've never done that before. It's always been Mickey. They did one at Christmas time. I think they did one at Halloween time a couple of years ago. And then you have the standard one, of course. But those are free for annual pass holders. You just have to go to, I think it is the Welcome. It's some, I don't know. You have to look it up. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But if you go to Club Cool and ask around, cast member, I'm sure they'll point you in the right direction. Annual pass holders get the magnet for free, and you can go pick that up, and you won't have to wait for the one to come in. So, but anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope it was informative. The one thing about the will call thing was a big shocker for me. It was kind of disappointing because I really, really wanted to use the magic bands. I mean, I'm just a big nerd like that. I wanted to use magic bands really bad, and I wasn't able to do that. So that kind of stunk. But it was okay overall. It was not bad at all. But that's going to be it for this video. Guys, if you liked the video or you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything like that, and you have any questions you want me to answer about Disney and the limited knowledge that I do have, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. Click your notification for the bell, or the little bell for your notifications so you don't miss a single video. And we're going to do more Disney videos. Maybe not on this channel, but we might make a second channel. Because this is my gaming channel, but you know, who cares? We might make another channel that includes the wife and kids and things like that. That's more Disney oriented. So keep an eye out for that. I'll obviously post links to it and things like that. if we do that. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.